Ladies and gentlemen, it was a beat down in D-Town today. All right. Cowboys 43, Rams 20. Very good win today. Let's talk about it. Before we get into it, let me clear my lens and welcome you into BAM Vision.
Indescribable, undeniable, diabolical, methodical. Can witness the mind of the man with the plan, take the stand and he's way the prodigal. Mistakes have been made in the waiting list. I just laugh it off, call me Jadakiss. Been loved and left and loved again. I sit and pretend that I give a shit. I go through the track like the gun released me from the blocks. I needed a change, part of my waves and drop the logs and I sleep this nights and vodka rise, consume my brain and load the clock.
Whew. Let's get into it. Like I said, Cowboys 43, Rams 20. This is BAM Vision, the first installment. I've been talking about it for a couple of weeks. I'm really just finding traction with our Peep the Picture Sports podcast. This is something that I've always been kind of wanting to do, so I'm able to go more in depth with the Cowboy games on game day. So I can give you my thoughts, recap the game a little bit, and then obviously with Mark B and D Chap. Later on this week, we will be obviously discussing a little bit more about today's games, right? And obviously how the Philadelphia Eagles went today, and obviously the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to have a lot to talk about. Please tune in. Peep the Picture Sports Podcast. We'll be filming later this week and releasing it by the end of the week. But again, this is BAM Vision. We're going to get into the game. It was a good win. You know, anytime that all three phases of the game really take control of the game from the jump, it's always going to be a good day at the office, right? Let's go over these stats a little bit. This was by far Dak Prescott's best game of the season. All right, he was 25 for 31 for 304 yards, 4 tutties. 4 tutties. All right, 1 interception. It's one of those things that you really can't avoid sometimes, right? Could he have thrown a little bit earlier? Yeah, but tip balls are part of the game, right? A lot of people were crucifying him last year about the tip passes. I wasn't one of them, okay? I was crucifying him more so for the lack of him reading coverage, right? And the boneheaded interceptions, the ones that shouldn't be a part of the game, especially if you're going to be an elite quarterback or an elite team. Cooper Rush even got himself in the game. He went 2 for 3 for 3 yards. One thing that I really want to talk about is the rushing game. I said last week in our last episode of Peep the Picture, we were gonna have to establish some type of running game, right? And I remember being asked by D Chap if I believed that Tony Pollard was going to go for over 100 yards, and I was quick to say nope, right? Because at the end of the day, he's only done that one time this season, right? And so today he went 12 carries for 53 yards, 4.4 average, which is great, right? Dak Prescott even added to that with 4 carries, 19 yards. Rico Dowdle 5 for 18. CeeDee Lamb went 1 for 12, and Brandon Cooks 1 for 3. Right. So I asked for better rushing. They delivered better rushing. Right. Not the traditional way, but as a team, we rushed over 100 yards today, which is going to be a great day at the office. If we can continue to duplicate that, that'll be phenomenal. Right? The hope is that we can start getting that from our RB1. Kind of talk about that a little bit later. Let's transition over into the receiving core. For all of y'all who had questions about CeeDee Lamb and if he's a real number 1, I want y'all to sit down somewhere, because at the end of the day, as long as Dak Prescott can get him the ball, please believe that he is a number 1 receiver. That is no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. The guy has got the gift, all right? What we need is a bona fide number 2, all right? Like I said, I mean, we got Brandon Cooks, who we don't know how long he's going to be dominant, right? We don't know how long we're going to be able to carry him on the roster and things like that. I like him, right? He's a speed guy. Take the top off. But some, I mean, obviously we know we're football fans. We understand that in order to take the top off the defense, you have to establish a good running game. All right. Moving on to a little more in depth about CeeDee Lamb. We talk about Dak Prescott having the best game of the season, right? Well, CeeDee Lamb has had the best game of the season, right? Only one time this season has he registered over 10 carries, and that was versus the Jets for 11 for 143. Today he went 12 for 158, 13.2 average, 2 touchdowns. All right, 2 of them. Right, it was great. It was. Shout out to Mike McCarthy. I've been reaming you for a long time. Your play calling, I'm not sure what was going on in weeks past, but we need to do more of this. I love it when I see Dak Prescott playing more freely. Okay. Now, my concern with that is that sometimes I kind of get trolled from other Cowboy fans because I'm more of a realist as a fan. You got to understand, I told you guys before, I was born on a Cowboy blanket. Please check the intro to Peep the Picture where I go in on it, all right, ladies and gentlemen? That is moi on the intro music. Please check it out. We gotta get to the point to where we understand that we still don't have an identity. We still don't have an identity, right? And so when these trolls come along, I got my blinders on, all right? I don't respond back, and it's not just one. My phone is being blown up by like 6 or 7 people. Oh, man, you didn't really believe, man. You didn't believe they could do it. You didn't believe they could do it. I never said that. I never said that I didn't believe they could beat the Rams. I actually had them beating the Rams. What I said was Bradford has the ability to pick a defense apart if given time, right? Our pass rush hasn't been consistent. So yeah, I'm gonna stand on that. When the pass rush is not consistent, I'm going to stand on that fact that, hey, I don't know what to expect. I have no idea what to expect. The question was posed to me, what was y'all saying about Dak? I was asking him for consistency, right? Now, this is Dak Prescott and how he shows up when everything is working beautifully, right? You get a block punt for a safety. You get a pick 6 by Deron Bland. That dude balling. The way he's balling makes me so eager. Makes me so eager for next season when we get Trayvon Diggs back. Diggs, Gilmore, Bland. You could throw whoever else you want in that 4 slot, man. We got players and we got ball hawks. That's beautiful. Still need help at the linebacker spot. But when the special teams is playing like that, give you a good field position, right? When the defense is locking down and creating pressure like they should, and we hope that they do every game, right? The pressure's off. The pressure's off, right? At the end of the day, we've got to stop these knee-jerk reactions, right? Oh, look at Dak. Look how Dak doing. What about the pressure games? Don't come at me when we're talking about the Rams, all right? If the defense plays like that, it takes the pressure off of Dak Prescott. Don't get it twisted, all right? I have never said that Dak was not a formidable quarterback. I just don't believe he's elite, okay? And the less and less he shows up in high pressure situations, the less and less I believe that he's a starting quarterback in this league that can take you to win a Super Bowl. Not just to the Super Bowl. I really wanna kind of reel people in right now and let you know where I am, okay? We've had 25 plus years of not being in the divisional round. That's not where I'm at anymore, okay? All this time I'm jaded. I'm gonna let you know that right now I'm very jaded, All right. For me, a Super Bowl a bust. All right. So yes, when I see some inconsistencies, when I see, now I'm gonna go here, but I want you to know that I love this man to death for everything that he's done for this organization. But as I have been watching the All 22, I have seen that Tyron Smith is coming up. It's coming up on that time, man. I love everything that you've done for this league, but we must look in the draft and we must secure a left tackle. Now, I think it'd be easier for us to draft a guard. We'll get into that later, but I would love to just kick Smith out to the left tackle. But as I'm watching it, and obviously he didn't play this game, right? He had a neck stinger, but that's par for the course, right? Injury after injury after injury. And at some point, you just got to say, all right, man, Hall of Famer, that man is gonna be wearing a gold jacket. There's no doubt about that. And I would venture to say he should be in that ring of honor. Shout out to DeMarcus Ware. I love to see you at halftime, being recognized for your contributions to this organization. You a real one, man. You a real one, and you continue to show up for the organization even after you've retired, man. Much love to you, DeMarcus Ware, and congratulations for your induction into the Ring of Honor. Tyron Smith, this might be your last year. And again, I'll say I love you to death for everything that you've done. Mad respect, man. Mad respect. Mad respect. But with that said, a lot of that speaks to the troubles that we're having, right? Take the first two plays of the game, right? It was sack, and it was almost a third sack. It was a questionable flag on that third down play. But at the end of the day, we're going to take it, right? We're going to take it because we've been talking so much about the refs' inconsistencies. And listen, at the end of the day, if we're going to gain from the referees' inconsistencies, then by golly, we're going to do it, okay? But moving forward, we're going to talk about the defense a little bit. Dorrance Armstrong, 1 sack. Deron Bland, 1 interception, pick 6 to the house. Beautifully done. On Peep the Picture, we talk. We have our smoking duds. We have our defensive players, and Deron Bland has been that for me twice. Do not, and I say do not be surprised if you see him up there again, because it was not just the 1 pick 6. The man was all over the place. All right, got us a pick 6. Got us rolling. Right, got us rolling even more because Dak was already locked in doing this thing. Okay, Micah Parsons, dog, lion, got in there with a sack of his own. Right now, peep this. Right after this sack, ladies and gentlemen, Sam Williams busts through the line on a punt, blocks the punt, and we get a safety. Oh, we feeling good. We feeling real randy right about now, right? Up 19-3 at that point. Feeding frenzy, right? Feeding frenzy. Now, I want you guys to understand that it's now 19-3. Now we can pin our ears back and we have earned the right to blitz. All right? You're talking about one of the top teams in the league at creating pressure. We all know what pressure do, baby. It busts pipes, and that's exactly what the defense did today. All right, broke up Stafford. Broke up. I forgot what their first string running back is, but he got broke up. Pikachu. I actually got a response. Well, where's Pikachu at today, ladies and gentlemen? I watched the game I watched the games, plural, in its totality. For a 4th round pick as a rookie to be doing what he's doing in the league, I don't care what his opposition is, he continues to show up. He continues to make big plays, clutch catches. However, he cannot throw the ball to himself. And again, going back, remember what I said. Stafford can pick a team apart if given time. He wasn't given that time. He was seeing shadows. He was seeing ghosts. He was quick on a draw, and his thumb was hurting. His shoulder was hurting. People asked us to be more physical as a defense, and damn it, we were today. We were today. Will that translate next week against Philly? That's going to be the big looming question, right? Because if for all of y'all who watched our last episode of Peep the Picture, remember my film development title was The Great Unknown. Well, it's still unknown, okay? We either blow people out or lose to teams that we shouldn't be losing to, right? One not so good team and then a top team in the NFL in the San Francisco 49ers. So who are we? What is our identity? And again, like I said, I love the performance from Dak Prescott today, but there was no pressure today. Outside of the first two plays, it just, I mean, I understand that we allowed three sacks, right? But the first two were in the first two plays of the game, ladies and gentlemen. So for you to, as a team, to correct that and to talk about scheme and to figure out what this offensive line needs to do to minimize Dak Prescott, to give Dak Prescott more time to find his receivers. Again, shout out to Mike McCarthy, man. Called a much better game. I feel like this is your best game. My concern with that is, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm really trying to be short about this video. My concern about that is you had a bye week. It's the Rams. You had an extra week to prepare for this team. So if you came in any other way but like you did, hitting on all cylinders like that, now we got bigger concerns at the end of the day, right? But what I will say is we did what we were supposed to do today, right? Now, the blowout, 43-20, you shellac anybody like that. Okay. But remember week 1, right? Remember all these other games where we beat down opponents. You're talking about 30-10 to the Jets. You're talking about 38-3 against the Patriots, right? Then you go to the Chargers and you win 20-17, right? It's all good, right? It's all good until it's not, right? Because then you have 28-16 to the Cardinals. You lose. Then 42-10, right? So we can be all up in arms about what we did today, right? But when the 49ers came to town, we beat them. We got beat down 42-10. I'm not going to forget that, right? Now, you rebound, get you one at Chargers, and then get you another one after the bye week, right? But now, what happens next week? What happens when we go up against Philly, who was in a tough game today, a divisional game that they could have easily lost, but they didn't. They didn't. They found a way. Now, I believe that way was Sam Howell. Even though he had a good game, he threw more to the freaking dirt. He was underthrowing. He was overthrowing and underthrowing. If there was better quarterback play today, there's no doubt in my mind that Washington could have won that game today. McLaren took the top off like 2 or 3 times in the end zone with a shot to score, overthrown. In the fourth quarter, in the waning moments, wide open receivers, and he's throwing to the freaking dirt. I digress. Philly still won. At the end of the day, our biggest rival in this division still got a dub. We're still chasing. Well, the chase is over with now, okay? The chase is over with now. So I'm welcoming all the trolls that question my fandom. Born on the Cowboy blanket. I encourage you to have that same energy next week, because my concern remains the consistency of this football team. Not just Dak Prescott, but the consistency of the whole football team in pressure situations. And when you're going for number one in the East, the NFC East, and my belief is that the NFL is a better product when the NFC East is on top. Understand that. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody really care about the NFC South and the West and all that. Don't nobody care about them as much as they do the Cowboys, right? We in the East. And if you run the East, it's gonna be tough sledding. When we see the 49ers again, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. But Dak Prescott has to be consistent. The defense has to continue to apply pressure and takeaways. Special teams, if y'all can continue to create havoc, and shout out to Cavante Turpin. I don't know why that brother was holding, but you just had a damn punt return that it'd have been real nice to put up on the stat, a 50-piece, because we had an opportunity to get a 50-piece. And I have no idea if that guy was that close. I'm gonna go back and watch the film, and obviously I will be having my second installment later on this week after I watch the coach's film. Just because I want to realize in weeks past what I've seen is that we need a more bruising running back. I love Tony Pollard, but I don't believe that he's an effective number one. I believe he can be a 1A, 1B. Don't get me wrong. I believe he can be an effective 1A, 1B, that 1-2 punch, that thunder and lightning, whatever you want to call it. I just don't believe with this offensive line and his vision. I don't quite know what happened to his vision, because I have been watching some coaches' film from the previous 3 games, and cutbacks, he's not taking those opportunities. He's not hitting the correct hole sometimes. He's running into a lot of traffic when all he has to do, if he has that vision, is just cut his eye over to the right, be a little bit more patient. But he's just ramming himself up in the closed holes a lot. What happened to the vision, man? If you're able to get that vision back, you shut me up. And I know at the end of the day I don't matter, but your team should matter. Right? So hopefully you're watching the same film I'm watching, and you can go back and start realizing what cutback opportunities that you have to put your team in a better opportunity, and to put yourself in a better opportunity, man. You fighting for a contract, man. You fighting for a long term, man. And look, I want to see you here, but I would love for you to have the same amount of carries that you had today. Okay, I love it when we were able to give TP that 12 to 15 carry range. He's not a bell cow, right? Especially coming off of an injury. He's not a bell cow. I don't even think fully healthy he's a bell cow. He's just not built that way, right? But at the end of the day, I love me some Dowdle as well, but neither one of them are bruising backs. And obviously, y'all know I'm talking about Derrick Henry, and obviously, the Titans have come out and said that they have no interest in trading him. Well, then I got a question. Why the hell did they trade their Pro Bowl safety to the damn Philadelphia Eagles, man? I feel like somebody got some money behind that, and that's for real. You willing to trade your Pro Bowl safety, but you're not willing to cut ties with Derrick Henry, whose contract is up this year? Make it make sense to me. I'm a little bitter about it. I'm admit I'm a little bitter. But at the end of the day, Jerry say, this is the team that we're gonna win the Super Bowl with. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Brandon Aubrey, man, I do want to talk about this guy, his leg, man. He went 2 for 2 on field goals, and his longest field goal today was 58 yards, and I feel like it would have been good from 65, and that's not being a homer. They had a lot of leg in it, and Brandon Aubrey did that. But between the 2 field goals and the extra points, he was able to provide the team with 11 points. You were not going unnoticed. Brian Anger, he only had, I think, 2 punts. Yeah, 2 punts. The average was 93 yards, and he had 1 inside the 20. I mean, I think it was like in something like third quarter. At the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, it was his first punt. You know what I mean? So we were clicking on all cylinders today, right? But that's when all three phases are playing, right? And to be an elite team, to me, I do not just pass out and hand out the title of being elite. I don't. You got to show me over a body of work, not just one game, all right? You got to show me that you can compete under pressure and against formidable opponents, right? Not lesser opponents, all right? You're supposed to beat the Rams. You got Philly next week. Pressure situation. What are you going to do? What are we going to do? What is us going to do? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to appreciate you. I told you I was going to keep it short today, and I will be posting again a little bit later on after I've had time to obviously take a look at the film. What we going to do next week? Philly. I believe it's the game of the week. It should be, and if it ain't, that's the game everybody going to be watching anyway, so that's what it is. Thank you for tuning in. I love you all. Please do not forget to check out Peep the Picture Sports Podcast. Big shout out to K-Rock, super producer. Big shout out to Mark B. Big shout out to D Chap. I love y'all boys. I can't wait till Tuesday when we get up in here and do our thing again, man. We love the support, ladies and gentlemen. Please continue to watch. Please continue to subscribe. This has been the first installment of BAM Vision. Peace out.
Indescribable, undeniable, diabolical, methodical. Can witness the mind of the men with the plan, take the stand in his way to prodigal. Mistakes have been made in the way to this. I just laugh it off, call me Jadakiss. Been loved and left and loved again. I sit and pretend that I give a shit. I come through the track like the gun, released me from the blocks. I needed a change, part of my waves to drop the locks, and I sleep this nice and vodka rise.